Happy Monday. It's another day that we're working from home as a PO. So let me know how you doing. Like, are you still feeling working at home, or are you kind of like over it? I'm like slightly over it. Don't get it twisted. I enjoy not having to go to the office. You know, the comfort of my home is nice, but it's boring still. I still need that interaction with other people. But today's video is going to be a little bit different. I actually did a collab video with another PO. He's from a different state, so we did it via video conferencing. I used the Zoom app. So a lot of people was asking me about, you know, the tactical side of being a PO. So those POs who are more like law enforcement officers who actually make arrests, who go into people's houses, do search warrants and stuff like that. So I was like, bet. He agreed to do the video with me. So I was like, cool. So we filmed that over the weekend. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section below. Okay, there's a lot of cars passing. I know y'all can hear that. My bad. I'm sorry. But I just really wanted to film this intro really quickly. So, without further ado, let's get to the video. Well, thank you for doing this video chat with me, first of all. I know it's a holiday weekend. Are you like at home with family or something?
Yeah, we're all quarantined in the house, you know, staying at home.
Yep, same here. So how long have you been a PO?
Altogether, I did 5 years as a juvenile probation officer in Pennsylvania, and then we moved down south. I can't say what state I'm in. They have very strict kind of social media policies. But I'm in a southern state, and I've been here going on 3 years.
Okay. Do you like it?
I do, actually. I like this career. It fits me.
Okay. So do you like it better than juvenile?
Yes, because we can. It's more hands-on. We can do more stuff. You really feel like you're doing more community protection.
Oh, so you're out in the field a lot? Because
Yes.
I'm in the office, like most of my time is spent in the office. So I know for you, it's different.
Yeah, well, here we have our offenders need to report to us once a month in the office.
Okay.
Normally, when there's not, you know, stay-at-home orders, and
Yeah.
then we have to go and see them at their homes, depending on their risk level, every so often, or there's once a month or every other month. And if they're on a curfew, then we have to go check that curfew at least twice a month.
Oh, so you guys do that. The police don't do that.
No, there are offenders. There are responsibilities. We go out, we check up on them. You know, boots on the porch.
That is intense. Okay, so we do have curfew checks for the offenders in my department, but we send the sheriff's department to do that, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, our sheriff's department, they don't. It's our department. It's our responsibility.
Okay, y'all need to be getting paid like a lot, because that's a lot of work. Seems like.
I don't know about that. I think I started at 37, and I'm up to about 40 now.
Doing all of that work? Oh my God. I feel kind of blessed now. Dang. I mean, don't get it twisted. You blessed too. Don't get it twisted. But that seems like a lot in comparison to like what we do out here. Like, we don't make any arrests. We don't have to carry a firearm. I'm not sure if you saw that on my channel, but we don't carry firearms. We don't even go in these people's houses. I mean,
I don't know how you can do the job without a firearm, a vest, you know, all those kind of things. Because even back in juvenile, we carried firearms. So
seriously?
Yes. So I can't imagine doing this job, working with offenders that I know are on probation for, you know, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, possession of a firearm by a felon, carrying a concealed weapon. Like, we are dealing with a population that we know are criminals.
Right.
We know their history. We know what they did. And I'm supposed to go to their house knowing that they're gang members, they're, you know, whatevers, and not being armed, being able to defend ourselves. I couldn't do it.
But do you have to go in their house?
Yes. We have to do walkthroughs periodically. We have to do a layout of their house. So yeah, we go into houses pretty often.
Yeah, we don't even go in. I think the level of risk is lower for us. So maybe that's why we don't have to carry a firearm, or we're not required to. Because like we don't go in no one's house. We're not going to arrest anybody. So those kind of things make somebody a little on edge. I can see an offender being on edge with you, because you could, I mean, you got more power, so to speak, than the POs where I work. You know what I mean? So I think you need it for sure. You need some protection, but I don't really think we need it where I work at.
Yeah, we are sworn officers of the court with the power of arrest.
That's intense. So when you started the job, you knew that was a part of it, and you actually liked that part of it.
Yes, I like a good 50-50 balance between law enforcement and social work. I like a good balance. When I worked juvenile, I would say we're more like 75% social work, 25% law enforcement. But this is a good 50-50 mix.
Oh, I feel like my job is just 100% social work. To be honest, I really do. But a lot of people on my channel, they want to know like about, I think I texted you this. I mean, not text you, but sent you an Instagram message about polygraph testing. Do you know anything about it? I know you didn't take one, but do you know anything about it?
I didn't have to do that. That's not something that we are involved with at all. So
for your job, I mean, your area, do you just have to have a bachelor's degree? Do you have to have experience?
Bachelor's degree. They'll hire you with a bachelor's degree. Clearly, I came with experience. But I know some of the younger officers we have, we have some people right out of college.
Nice.
So they come in with their bachelor's degree, and then we have a 5-week basic training academy that all officers go through. We do firearms, defensive tactics, how to make arrests. We learned about motivational interviewing. We learned about drugs, alcohol, the laws, our authority, what we can and can't do. It's pretty intense for about 5 weeks, but it's not hard. There's just a lot to do in a little bit of time.
But that 5-week training, that's after you get hired, right?
Yeah, so after you get hired. So when I got hired, there's what they call pre-basic, which is before you go basic training, where they take us to the range and they kind of do like a quick safety and kind of see if your familiarization with firearms. Because when you get to basic, you only have a week before you have to qualify. So since I carried a firearm in another state and I was a firearms instructor in that other state, it was pretty easy for me. I went in, I shot. It was not an issue. Then we had to go to pepper spray training. So we went to a local prison and they pepper sprayed us. In order to use it, you have to know what it feels like.
That's what they told me in my department. Yeah.
So we went through that, and then we did some like how to use computers and the different softwares. Then you go to basic. You do that for 5 weeks. Then there's post basic, which is more like caseload management, how to handle a roster and things like that.
So you're getting paid for all of this training, right?
Yes. Oh. Yeah, once you're hired, you start getting paid. Your regular salary.
So are you out in the field more than you are in the office, right?
Right now, because of everything going on with this whole coronavirus thing, we're not allowing offenders into the office. We have to go see them at their homes.
Okay, but like regularly before Corona and all that.
It's about 50-50. Once a month, they gotta come see us in the office. And then we gotta go see them at their homes every so often, depending on their risk level.
Oh, you have an accent. Where are you from?
New Jersey originally.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't think I have an accent. So that's funny you say that.
Oh well, yeah. Of course, you can't hear it because like I can't hear my accent. But yeah, you have an accent. That's pretty interesting. What other questions do I have for you? I forgot. I should have wrote this down. It made it a little bit more formal, but I wanted it to be more like chill. I didn't want it to be too interviewee. But a lot of people have questions about the pay up north versus the pay down south. So I was doing a little research.
I'm actually getting paid a little bit more than I was up north. Not by a whole much, but a little bit more. So I can't complain. Okay,
that's good. Is there like room for advancement? Like what's the next level to the position that you are right now?
Well, right now I'm a I'm a regular like line officer. Then we have specialty units. We have a gang unit. We have a sex offender unit. We have a domestic violence unit. Um, and then we have a high risk unit. And then once you get into those positions, then you can move up to supervisor, and then into management. Up from there, you can go into management.
So in those different units, if you get promoted to one of those, that comes with a raise, right?
Not necessarily. It comes with more responsibilities, but you need to get to there before you can move into supervisor.
Wait, you're gonna get more responsibility and no more money?
Yeah.
Oh my
What do you
God.
do?
What? Because we have those kind of caseloads too. Sex offender caseload, veterans court, domestic violence, high risk unit, substance abuse unit. But if we promote to one of those units, it does come with more pay. So that's like an incentive.
Yeah, there's no pay. There's no pay increase. But like I said,
What?
it's like, but you're not gonna get to the supervisor level till you get into one of those specialty units.
So what is your end game? Do you want to be a supervisor, director? Like what you want to do?
I mean, definitely, I think at some point I probably want to get into management, but right now, I like the hands-on approach. I like working with the clients or offenders, whatever you guys call them. We call them offenders. I don't know what you guys call them.
We call them defendants.
Defendants. We call them offenders, and
Yeah.
I still like working with them. I still like, my goal is I like working with people, getting them from when I first get them, getting them to the end, and seeing the kind of change they've made. But if you're not making that change, you're going to jail because I live here, my family lives here. I'm gonna make sure that the community is safe from you. That's the way I
But
look at it.
how do you handle it when you see them in public?
When I see them in public,
Yeah.
I keep it moving.
So if they try to be like, hey, officer, what did they call you? Officer, Mr. what?
Mr. I'm mostly officer.
Okay. They're like, hey, officer, how you doing today? Are you just gonna like walk away?
Chuck the deuce and keep it moving.
So when you do see them in public, do you have to like write it up? Just, because we have to do that. If we see them out doing something, no matter the circumstances, we do have to document it.
Oh, off the clock, no, we don't have to.
Really?
But if I'm riding around and I see somebody in a corner, I stop and I talk to them. Now I'd be considered a field contact if I'm working. But if I'm just out and about at the store or something, and I see them. Most of the time, I think the couple of times I've seen them, we'll make eye contact, but I'll keep moving. They keep moving. You know what I mean?
Y'all don't want to talk?
Right now, we both off the clock.
No, I understand that for sure. But what is like the craziest thing that happened when you tried to, I guess, maybe arrest somebody or?
Right. I haven't actually had any real issues. I haven't had anybody try to fight or resist. It's mostly a lot of just running their mouth. You know what I mean? It's like they're always cool with you until you have to arrest them. And then they call you every name in the book, and I thought we were cool, and I can't believe you're doing this to me, and I'm one other officer, and I'm going to complain to your supervisor. And I'm like, don't you realize my supervisor signed off on you being arrested right now? So there's nothing to talk about.
Right. At that point, it's really not.
Yeah. But I haven't actually had to use any kind of force. Well, not here. I did in juvenile, but I haven't actually had to use any here with adults.
So have you never had to shoot anybody?
No.
I just want
to know. That's not an everyday thing.
The people want to know. You have this weapon. You said it's dangerous. We're trying to get the nitty gritty of it,
Oh, no, I've never had to shoot anybody. Have we? Like if we're like clearing a house, like we're doing a search or something, or clearing a house, or we're looking for somebody in the house, we're allowed to have our firearms out and ready. But I've never I've never shot anyone. None of my coworkers ever shot anyone.
Good, I'm glad.
That really happens, but we prepare for that eventuality that you meet that person that makes that decision.
Right.
Now here's another thing. In our state, we do probation and parole. We're combined. We're not separate.
Oh.
So I'm actually a probation and parole officer.
Oh, so you deal with a wide range of offenders.
Yeah, so we do it.
Okay.
We do it. People from court, they get on probation, and people that are getting out of prison and going on parole or post release.
That's crazy. Here it's separate, and if you do parole, you actually get paid more being a parole officer versus being a probation officer.
Yeah, that's how it was in my last state, but everything here is combined, so we do it all.
So do you think that's better, or you think it's better to have it separate?
Um, Actually, I think it is better having it combined. So here in my state, like I said, it's a state-run system where everything is combined. In the state where I came from, where I was a juvenile officer, everything was county by county. So every county had their own probation office. They did things separately. Then there was state parole that handled people coming out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
Issue with that, with being in the control county by county, is that they do everything differently.
True.
So so back in my other state, where I was able to carry a firearm as a juvenile officer, next county over, they didn't carry firearms. You know what I mean? It all depends because it goes by county, what the judge in that county wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pros and cons, but I prefer the system here where it's a statewide system.
Hmm.
Plus, you can transfer to any state and it's all the same.
Would you consider going to another state, or are you gonna stay
No,
where
I'm
you
sorry.
are?
No, you can transfer to another county. It'll be all the same. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Any other county within your state?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, it is
Uh,
different here in Texas. I don't think I'll ever be a parole officer. I enjoy probation better than parole. Some people tell me like parole in Texas, being a parole officer in Texas is too much work. Like it's a lot of work, and the pay doesn't equate to how much work you're doing. Do you feel like you are underpaid as a PO where you work?
I mean, I don't think anyone feels they get paid for paid what they think they're worth. I don't think anybody does.
You
I
mean like
definitely
in
think,
general, just in life, right?
and yeah,
Everybody's
in
like,
like general,
"Oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah. You know, I'm sure the guy at McDonald's thinks he deserves to get paid more, and I definitely think that we deserve to get paid more for what we do, for the amount of authority that we have and the amount of work that we do. Yeah, of course. But I mean, we have a lot. You know, we have benefits and things like that, and state retirement, and um, we get a take-home car. You know what I mean? It has its perks to it.
Do you get free healthcare? Well, does
It's
the
not
department pay
it's
for it?
not free, but it's pretty cheap.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We get well, our department pays for our health insurance, so we don't have to pay like what is it, premium deductible? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever that monthly thing is, I don't have to pay it.
We do, but it's not much. I think it's $50, which is that's nothing.
I mean, that's pretty good,
Yeah.
but free is a lot better.
Free is better. Free is better.
And then, are you off on holidays?
Yes. Like I'm off today. Well, I was off yesterday because it was Good Friday. So we
Yeah.
was off yesterday. Yeah.
What about weekends? Do you work weekends?
You can. If you work a day, if you work a Saturday or Sunday, you get a day off during the week.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you can to a degree you kind of make your own schedule, as long as you make sure you attend your court dates whenever you have violations. You make your own schedule. You schedule your offenders for their appointments. Like I said, if you want to work a weekend, you can take it. Actually, you have to at least work 1 weekend a month per policy. But
Dang.
you can do more if you like and get a day off during the week. So
So
it's pretty flexible.
when you applied, let's talk about like the application process. A lot of people want to know, like, is it hard? Does it take a long time for them to get back to you? So tell us a
Um,
little bit about that.
I felt like my process didn't take too long. I think I did the application online, and then send you emails, and they have you do some more. They have you do assessments online.
What kind
Um,
of assessment?
kind of like questionnaires, where they kind of like personality questionnaires.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, those behavioral personality type questionnaires. 'Cause I don't think you have a degree in psychology.
Yes.
So do I. So yeah, so I was kind of familiar with those kind of questions.
Yeah.
Um, and then then I got an email to come down and do an interview. Did that. Um, then then you get then they you get a conditional offer. You come down. You did some more paperwork. background check, all that good stuff. Then I do a psychological evaluation and a physical evaluation. Because we are
Drug
carrying
test?
firearms.
You have to do a drug test?
Yeah, we had to do a drug test.
So for the
And
psych eval, what was that like?
we met with a psychologist, he just basically kind of asked me basic questions about me, my life, my family, any kind of mental health history or anything like that. Just to kind of make sure that you're, I guess, sane.
So we can confirm that you are sane.
I am sane, yes. State certified sane.
All right.
Um, and did a physical. And then I got a call with an offer. They gave me an option of 3 different counties I could work in, and I picked the one I wanted. And yeah, then made me an offer. I
Oh, they
accepted, and
wanted
then
you because you had the experience. They were like, yes, let's get him.
yeah, I think I would like to think I was wanted.
For the psychological evaluation, is there something that you should do to prepare for that, or it's kind of basic?
It's really basic. Just be honest. Um, just be honest. I mean, as long as you have like no mental health history, no ADHD, anxiety, depression, you can kind of tell the probing questions were was trying to kind of like checking those boxes. And clearly I have no history of that, so it wasn't a problem.
So have you ever dealt with, we're going to switch gears. Have you ever dealt with like an offender who had mental health issues? Or
Every
maybe
day.
like a learning disability. What?
Every day.
Wait, like, I mean like ADHD or something. They're on the
Yes.
spectrum or I don't know, something like that. Autism.
Yeah, bipolar, depressive, um, anxiety. Yeah, we deal with those people all the time. We do have actual mental health POs that deal with people who have really extreme mental health issues. But if they're kind of like towards the lower end of the spectrum, then the regular officers will get them. Um, but yeah, I think the hardest part is getting them on medication and getting them to follow through. Because once they're on medication, you could tell there's a difference
Oh
between when
yeah.
they're off and when they're on. When they're
Yeah.
off, I mean,
They're all for real.
yeah, we're out there looking for them. They're not following the rules. But then when you actually get them stable, and you can just tell from talking to them that they're stable, they start to do well, and then they fall off again. It's usually a cycle. They'll do
Yeah.
well. They'll think, oh, I don't need to take this any medication anymore. I'm doing well. They'll stop.
Mhm.
Then they'll fall off, and then you're back out there looking for them. They're violating, getting new charges. It's a cycle.
Well, what about like, I don't want to say retarded, but I just said retarded. But somebody who's like slow, mentally challenged, really,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think I got a couple of those now.
Yeah.
You just do your best you can.
Do you supervise them any differently? Like, do they come in like with a parent or some type of helper?
Sometimes, but mostly they're able to kind of function a little bit by themselves. I mean, they do require some more kind of like you got to help them succeed. Like, hey, remember you have an appointment tomorrow. Whereas opposed to someone who's normally functioning, I wouldn't remind them they have an appointment. It's their responsibility to
Okay.
make sure they come to the appointment on a date and time set. But if I
Okay.
know that they're limited, I'll make that extra effort. Hey, just remember you have an appointment. You have to come see me.
Okay. Well, that's good. We don't have any. Well, I haven't had anybody on my caseload like that. So I was curious about that, and I think I got some questions on one of my YouTube videos about that. I was like, let me ask him. Maybe he knows. What else do I want to know? You need to ask me a question.
I don't know. Just like, all right, so man, you don't do any of the fun stuff. So you don't do warrant sweeps. You
That's
guys
not
don't do
fun to me. I don't
you
think
guys
that would
don't do
be fun.
that's the fun stuff when we when we get all together and we'll go out and knock on doors looking for people that have absconded.
Oh,
When
oh
we
God, I
go out,
couldn't.
we do searches on gang members and things like that.
Y'all have to go in groups.
Yeah. If we're doing it just in our department, we'll go with a couple POs. 3, 4 of us will go to a house and do a search. Or if we're doing a large operation where we're involved with the police, the sheriff's department, DEA, U.S.
Oh my
Marshals,
God.
ATF. When you're riding like in a convoy, like 6 cars deep. You know, us, police, sheriffs, you know, U.S. Marshals. You know, we're going to a house. You know, surrounding it. You know, going
Oh
in,
Lord.
searching it.
No.
You know, finding the drugs and the guns. That stuff is fun.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, that's intense. To me, that's too much in the law enforcement side. I would never be interested in doing that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how you keep people honest. You know what I mean? Because
You
you
think
you
so?
don't know, they could be doing whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and just because they report to you every month doesn't mean they're keeping their nose clean.
Oh, of course not.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but here in my state, they have they waive their right to searches. We can search them, their person, their vehicle, and their homes whenever we want.
And do you do that a lot?
If the need calls for it. You know, we're pretty busy where, you know, between the office appointments and home contacts, it's hard to, you know, get 3, 4 officers together who all have their own different caseloads to go do a search on somebody. But if you have somebody that either, you know, the police are telling us that, you know, they're involved with something, or, you know, we have our own suspicions, we try to work together to make that happen.
How
So
many offenders are on your caseload?
between like 50 and 60.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
Well,
well, you got a lot to do.
we do have a lot to do compared to,
Yeah.
and then
You got a lot to
the
do.
higher risk officers and then gang unit, they might have like 20. But
Dang.
they're also seeing these people way more,
Yeah.
you know, 2 to 3 times a month.
So for drug tests, do you guys have like I guess a third party that does that, or you guys have to
Nope,
do
we
that?
do it ourselves. We do it ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Do
Yep.
they train you on that, and how extensive is the training to do UAs?
It's not really extensive. Just you go in and you make sure that what I usually do first is I try to either do a search of their person to make sure they don't have anything they're not supposed to have, you know.
You pat them
Wisdom.
down?
Yeah, we do pat downs when they come to the office. Because you'd be surprised with things that people bring into the probation office. Oh
Oh, I
man,
know.
I forgot I had my drugs in my pocket. You know.
You found drugs before?
Yes, drugs, drug
Oh my.
paraphernalia. Guy had his crack pipe in his sock. I mean, you'll be surprised things people will bring into the probation office.
What in the hell? Oh
Yeah,
my
so
goodness. No.
I
You
usually
have
try to do
metal detectors?
I'm sorry.
You have metal detectors at your office?
Well, my office is inside a courthouse, so they have to go to the metal detector to the sheriff office runs. But I mean, it's checking for weapons. It's not really checking
Right.
for other kind of contraband.
Right. So if they do come to your office and they do have drugs on them or paraphernalia, what do you do about it?
I mean, depending on what it is, we'll call the sheriff's office. They'll come charge them.
So if it's just like a little bag of meth.
a little bag, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. That's possession of a controlled substance inside of a judicial building. It's a charge.
So they going to jail.
Yep.
Okay. So what if it was just like you said before, a crack pipe? You gonna charge them for that?
It depends how I feel. Might just time to throw it out.
Okay.
Or the sheriff's office can come and charge them. The issue is that, you know, a lot nowadays the judges and the DAs, those really small stuff, they just throw that stuff out anyway. So half the time it's not really even worth doing it. By the time they get to court, they're just gonna dismiss it anyway.
Yeah.
Now we can add it on as a violation because now it's a violation of probation.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you setting yourself up for like contested hearings. Do you have to testify for revocation hearings?
Only when we do violation hearings, if they admit to the violation, then we don't have to. If they want a hearing, which is their right, then we'll do a hearing. Yeah. I think I've only done one, and it was an absconder, and he tried to argue that he did not know that he had to report to the probation office, even though we have all the signed conditions of probation, which they do twice. They do one at intake and they do one when they first meet their officer, just so we cover all our bases. And I'm like, well, here is his sheets. We went over this. He signed it, saying that he knew. This is the appointment I gave him. He didn't show up. I called him again. He didn't show up. He wasn't living where he told me he was living. I went there on these dates, and the people that lived there said he doesn't live there. So he absconded. You know,
So when
he wasn't.
you're actually testifying in court, there's a judge, there's a lawyer,
Yes. And the DA. Yeah.
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 That was kind of intimidating the first time I did that.
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. But back in juvenile court, back in PA, we did a lot of testifying, so I was kind of prepared for it here, because it's a little bit different. There's way more court when it comes to juvenile than there is with adult.
Yes, and I hope that we will do another live or another video conference, because a lot of people want to know about juvenile for sure. It is way different from adult.
It is. They let these kids get away with murder.
Literally. Literally.
Sometimes, yes.
Oh man. Okay, let me think of another question I had. So 50 case. You said 50. You have about 50 people on your caseload.
Right now I have about 50. I think I've been up to about 60.
And then your office is actually inside the courthouse.
Well, my county we have 3 offices. Mine's inside the courthouse, and we have 2 other standalone buildings.
Oh, okay.
And offenders can be assigned to any officer in those 3 buildings.
So on your caseload, you said you have probationers and parolees.
Yes.
And you don't supervise them any differently.
We pretty much supervise them the same. The only difference is, where you have to go to if you want to get a warrant. Whether you have to go to the court or you have to go to the parole commission.
Oh, because parole, they have fees to pay, but they're like $10 or something like that. It's like really cheap.
Yes,
and
the same fee for probation is the same fee for parole here.
Really? Oh, do you have to pay for drug tests?
They do not have to pay for drug tests. Only if they challenge it and we have to send it to the lab, and then they have to pay for that.
Well, dang, they need to come to probation in York County.
Don't stay out of our state. We got enough. We need to deal with.
I'm sending all of them to your state.
Actually, I got a guy from your state. Yeah,
Oh,
I got somebody from your state before. Yeah, you guys do interstate compact and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. We don't like to send people to other states, but we take people from other states all the time. Like, oh my goodness. We prefer to keep them.
I feel like all we do is take people.
Okay, what is the craziest person not craziest, but I guess the most difficult person that you've had to deal with as in your career, not just in this department, but does one stand out to you?
I guess when we do the juvenile stuff, I have some pretty crazy stories with that.
I bet. That's
when I first started, and I got some stories of some things that happened. Because juveniles, they don't think. See, right. The adults, they're not afraid of jail. They've been to jail before. They know what jail's like. But juveniles, they don't think anything through. They're always on go. And they will do anything to not get caught.
I can't wait to do this one about these juveniles, because I've never done juvenile probation, but I've heard a lot of stories, and we work closely with juvenile, and in the courthouse you see the juvenile probation officers all the time, and they're going through it with them kids in the courtroom. So I can
thinking about juvenile, it's not the kids, it's the parents. That's what drives you crazy.
Yes, I've heard that. Yes. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. I need to know, and the people need to know. And then tell me, before we finish, tell me about your channel, the one that you had to take down.
I had one from when I was a juvenile officer, and I had posted several videos about that. Showing the different equipment they gave us, just kind of talking about the difference between adult and juvenile, telling a couple stories, and then I don't know how, but I got a call when I was working here in adult. I got a call from the manager. Went down there, and they told me part of the policy, can't have this, so I had to take it down.
Did you show ins and outs? Like, I don't know, what was so bad about it?
I don't know. I didn't want to argue. I just said okay.
So I didn't want to argue. So you had already moved departments?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
Well, I think that's
I
all.
can't give any specifics about anything I'm doing now. Just telling you about how the system works.
Right, right. Yeah, there's some things we have to conceal, obviously, for security of not only us but the offenders too. Obviously, they have rights. You know, we don't want to infringe upon anybody's rights.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff is public knowledge. A lot of this stuff you guys can look on the internet. It's like Google. That's your best friend. You can find a lot of this stuff.
My entire department's policy is online. If you want to look up
See?
everything we can and can't do, it's literally online. You can. I did it when I was looking into the job. I downloaded it and read it. It's just everything you can and can't do.
So that's a tip for y'all in your state or in your county. Go online, go to that county website or that state website. They put a lot of this information on there for you guys.
Yeah, it's because it's public information.
It is. But a lot of people want to, get like a little firsthand knowledge, a little inside scoop. Maybe they're nervous about their interview or something like that. I get a lot of DMs about that. So I wanted to get tips from you as far as acing the interview or doing well in your interview.
Just listen to the question and be honest. But I mean, a lot of the questions are more like, tell us a time when you had to deal with this kind of situation, or how do you have to deal with this, or how do you work in a team? Those kind of standard questions.
Yeah, I think that those are kind of standard across the board, not just probation.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of job, those are pretty standard. So if you have a good answer for those, you'll be fine.
Do you feel like you have to be a people person to do this job?
Oh, you have to.
You think so?
You have to, because your entire job is working with people.
Facts, it is.
Whether it's your coworkers or the offenders, you're working with people and dealing with personalities, dealing with people that don't want to be told what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
And it's not like every offender is a bad person.
Oh, of course not.
Because in reality, either one of us could be on the other side of that table. It all depends on what anyone can make a decision or a mistake, and that will land you on the other side of that table. Mm-hmm. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm meeting with people, is that could easily be me, if I made a bad decision. So I treat people like people, but I have to do a job, and I have to keep the community safe.
That reminds me of something. A few people asked me this. What do you do when an offender tries to come on to you? Like, come on to you?
I haven't had that, but I've had offenders try to be
or bribe you.
like we're buddies, and I have to remind them we have a professional relationship. It's Officer McGregor. It's not hey buddy, hey pal, hey try to call me my first name. It's Officer McGregor. We have a personal relationship. It's as simple as that. And then if it goes past there, if it goes past there, hold on, let me get my supervisor, because apparently you're not hearing what I'm saying.
Hey, I don't want to be in your office. Oh, no. You seem like a tough probation officer, probation and parole.
I think it all depends on the offender you ask. Some people say, oh, he's cool, he does what he has to do. And those are the people that do what they have to do. They stay out of trouble.
Exactly.
Like I said, I have people on that they really did something stupid. You know what I mean? They're not a bad person. They just did something really stupid. They end up on probation. They just want to do their probation and be done. And then you get those, those thugs, those, want to be drug dealers, want to be, gangsters, and they want to do what they want to do, and that's fine. But you're not going to pull one over on me. That's the way I look at it.
So if one of your people or your offenders test positive for drugs, like one time, is that automatically something that would get them put in jail?
No, we try to give them chances. Depending on if it's just weed and it's your first one, you get a verbal warning. Hey, you need to cut that out. I'm gonna test you again in about 30 days. You need to be clean. Now, if they're testing positive for something harder than that, some cocaine, opiates, or whatever, let me get you a substance abuse assessment. Go meet with the professionals, do an assessment with them, and then if they say you don't need it, all right, cool. If they say you need treatment or classes, you got to do it. Now it becomes a condition of your probation.
And do you work closely with those like drug and alcohol counselors, substance abuse
Yes.
counselors?
We talk to them monthly to see how the offenders are doing.
Yes, we do that. And this is something that we have in our county. We have to do court reviews. The judges want to see the offenders back in court like 6 months after they're placed on probation, just to see how they're doing. Do y'all do stuff like that?
Nope, we don't. The only time the offender goes to court is either they're being violated, or if they're coming to the end of their term of probation and there's things that still aren't done, then we have to file a violation and get them in front of a judge so they can explain to the judge, like, why didn't you pay your money? Why didn't you complete your classes? Why didn't you do your community service? Why are you testing positive? They have then in those situations, but we don't do reviews.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's way different. That's so
But
cool.
we had to do reviews in juvenile every 6 months. So that's why we had a lot of court, because every 6 months we're back in court every 6 months. So yeah.
Dang. Okay. I'm not gonna keep you on here too much longer because I know it's already been like, how long has it been? I don't even know.
I don't
really
see the timer anywhere.
It don't tell me how long, but I know it's been pretty long, and this is some good conversation. We're gonna do a part 2 because Chris over here, he told me that he's gonna do a part 2 with me. We're gonna talk about juvenile. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And I hope that Chris will look at those comments and answer some of them. If y'all got questions for him.
I watch your videos because I like seeing what other people are doing in other places. So
I know it's so interesting, and thank you for watching. I appreciate that for sure. And I really hope that my department will find my channel and start tripping. I don't know. Hope not. So y'all, sorry, I can't give y'all more than that. He can't give y'all more than that. But that is, I think that's it. I think we're gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna hit you up and we're gonna schedule another one, okay?
Sounds good.
I appreciate you. You have a good weekend, a good holiday weekend, and you stay safe.
You be safe out there with that Rona.
Oh, I will.